Next step. Yay! Alright. Alright, let's see here. What? I do not want to walk that way. That far. That's a long walk of shame for not being able to fly. I still have to do the quest. But the thing is, I'm the type of person to not waste any XP whatsoever. So, I save that, and I'm planning on doing all these quests as Reaper. And once I do that, then we can have all the fun we want. That's the only reason I haven't done Endwalker hunts. I need to be able to fly. I can't just walk around and do hunts. It's the most painful thing in the world to do. I would know I did it in Heaven's Ward. It was not a fun time. And I still remember, I swear the maps get bigger and bigger every expansion. I thought Heaven's Ward was big. And then I thought Stormblood is big. Now I was like, oh, Shadowbringers is the biggest areas we'll ever get. There's no way Endwalker comes. Oh my god, these freaking maps are huge. Let's go! Because then we also get a mini aquarium. I love the music. This music's never a good thing, though.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
True enough.
What is it you're doing now?
There's something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graal has theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
Good idea. Very smart.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Indeed.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
All those things contain ether, right? Oh, I love that we get options to mock our best friends. But, you know, I'm going to go the Zim route and go familiar. Which means I could always just send myself.
As Reinetier sent his simulacrum, so too shall we rely on a familiar to bear the brunt of any unpleasant consequences.
Ooh. Y'shtola, what kind of familiar are you planning on making then?
Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same.
True enough.
I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
Is it gonna be a cat? Y'shtola, is it gonna be a cat? A cute little kitty cat?
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
Hopefully a cute and cuddly kind?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, froth and fire!
Oh
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh, that's why you didn't want to do it. Oh, so cute. Oh, Y'shtola's gonna punch someone.
Though not my first choice, these familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual.
Unleash your inner child, Y'shtola.
Should serve as well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate, Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void sense slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nadana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Good. I'll make sure. Oh no, I'm not gonna mock her. I know better.
And we are glad for it.
I can always see what the other option is
Let us
later.
begin, shall we?
Oh my god. You still had a magic girl moment.
Nixies, into the void.
Oh, they're so damn cute. I bet you the one without a warding skull comes back as an entirely evil entity. We're all gonna die. Because, you know, that's how it always seems to go. Alright. Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Bahamut, and Phoenix are prepared for the worst. And Carbuncle. Even though Carbuncle pretty much stays out of the way for the most part. Let's do this. Nadana, you look extremely worried.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
Oof. It sounds dehydrated. You better do something about that.
You little one. You did well.
The poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
Oh no! Those voices though. Nope, siree, close it.
Out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
Oh no, creepy. Bahamut, blast the fuckers. Let's go.
In the name of Alzadal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Well, okay. No need for Bahamut, I guess.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
Yep. Ow.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
Indeed they do, Stidium.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium.
So, warding spells work. Huzzah! We know that.
Little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation.
Oof.
It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
A scary one.
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void.
It was the test subject of doom and gloom.
You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition? I can picture it now. The sunless Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
Hence the name.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Reinetier. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way.
Oh yes. We must learn the ways.
But first I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial atomos. Or I could, if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Petra.
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
I'm sensing some tension there. Like, a great tension.